ते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Please bless me so that I can speak something on the Srimad Bhagavatam verse today. So today we are reading from Canto 3, chapter 29. I'll be speaking on verse 30 and 31. The chapter name is Explanation of Devotional Service. So verse 30. Rupa Bheda Vidastatra Tataschobhayato Dataha Tesham Bahupada Shreshtas Chatushpadastato Dvipat Rupa Bheda Vidastatra Tataschobhayato Dataha Tesham Bahupada Shreshtas Chatuspadastato Dvipat Rupa Bheda Vidastatra Tataschobhayato Dataha Tesham Bahupada Shreshtas Chatuspadastato Dvipat. Vaishnavis. Veda Vidasatra Tataschobhayato Tataha Tesham Bahupada Shreshtas. Rupa Bheda, distinction of form. Vidaha, those who perceive. Huh? Okay. I see. Rupa Bheda, distinction of form. Vidaha, those who perceive. Tatra, then them. Tataha, then them. Sa, and. Ubhayataha, in both jaws. Dataha, those with teeth. Tesham, of them. Bahupadaha, those who have many legs. Shreshtaha, better. Chatupadaha, four-legged. Tataha, then them. Dvipat, two-legged. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Better than those living entities who can perceive sound are those who can distinguish between one form and another. Better than them are those who have developed upper and lower sets of teeth. And better still are those who have many legs. Better than them are the quadrupeds, and better still are the human beings. Purport. It is said that certain birds, such as crows, can distinguish one form from another. Living entities that have many legs, like the wasp, are better than plants and grasses, which have no legs. Four-legged animals are better than many-legged living entities, and better than the animals is the human being who has only two legs. So, Kapil Muni is like telling Mother Devahuti the gradation of living entities in material and spiritual world. So, the verse starting from 28 to 34 in this chapter is actually the gradation of jivas. So, starting from inanimate objects to living, so the gradation goes higher and higher, you know. So, the second one is living immovable entities. Next one is entities with greater life symptoms. Higher than that is entities with developed consciousness. Higher than that is entities with sense perception. Higher than that is beings with touch sensation. Higher than that is beings with taste sensation. Again, higher than them is beings with sense of smell. Higher than them is beings who can hear. Higher than them is beings who distinguish form. Higher than them is entities with two sets of teeth. So this is our shloka where it covers the teeth part. So entities with two set of teeth. Higher than them is beings with many legs. Higher than them is animals with four legs. Higher than them is human beings. Now in this particular shloka, we are coming across human beings with two legs, and again it is discriminate. There is a discrimination here, like for the human beings, those who follow varnashram and those who are above varnashram. And those who fall above varnashram as like they are called as brahmanas, but you know there is again in brahmanas there is categories. So those who follows like those who knows the Vedas, and then brahmanas who knows meaning of the Vedas. So there is a big difference here. Brahmanas who knows the Vedas and brahmanas who knows the meaning of the Vedas. So we'll take this in detail. So the next shloka also I will read. So now I just mentioned some of the gradations in the living entities, both spiritual as well as material. The next shloka says, Tato varnascha chatvara tesham brahmana uttamaha brahmaneshva api vedognya hi artatnyo bhyadikastataha. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Among human beings, the society which is divided according to quality and work is best, And in that society, the intelligent men who are designated as Brahmanas are best. Among the Brahmanas, one who has studied the Vedas is the best, and among the Brahmanas who has studied the Vedas, one who knows the actual purport of Veda is the best. Purport. The system of 4 classification in human society according to quality and work is very scientific. This system of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras has now become vitiated as the present caste system in India. But it appears that this system has been current a very long time, since it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Unless there is such a division of the social order in human society, including the intelligent class, the material class, the mercantile class, and the laborer class, then there is always confusion as to who is to work for what purpose. A person trained to the stage of understanding the absolute truth is a Brahmana. And when such a Brahmana is Vedajna, then he understands the purpose of Veda. The purpose of Veda is to understand the absolute. One who understands the absolute truth in 3 phases, namely Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan, and who understand the term Bhagwan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is considered to be the best of the Brahmanas or a Vaishnava. So, as we know that Kapil Muni is telling Devavati the gradation of the living entity in material and as well as spiritual life. Some are advanced, some are less advanced. And why is he telling us this? So that we can take proper association and we do not do not spoil our devotional life. That is why the gradation is being told to us. Now, it is also said why this discrimination is done. Why, discrimination is a big quality in Vaishnava culture. Why? Vallabhacharya says that with discrimination and determination, you can get the association of devotees, and it also helps you to surrender or take ashray or shelter. These are very good qualities, determination and discrimination. But it is always not easy. Discrimination also has some kind of, you need to have patience and you need to have tolerance when you are, executing devotional service. Because there are some times that we face problems and we, give up the bhakti or we kind of fall down. So to avoid that, we have to be very careful and we have to be very patient and tolerant. Now it is said that here, Tattu Varnascha Chatvaras. So it is talking about Varnashram system. Here the sloka starts with the Varnashram system, and Kapil Dev Muni says that Varnashram is the lowest category. Like the yoga ladders start from Varnashram. Now we always hear about Varnashram, we hear so many things, but why it is the lowest? Because below that is, Varnashram is a place where people are having little bit of control, mind control, right? They are also the people who are termed as Manushya. Now the Manushya falls in Varnashram system. Now why they are called as Manushya? 2 reasons. One is because they are followers of Manu or Manu Samhita. Manu has given the Manu Samhita, and humans or Manushya follows this Manu Samhita. That talks mostly about mind control. So those who are in mind control, they are in Varnashram system. If they are not in mind control, then they are Chandalas, Mlechas, Yavanas, lower category, Tantrics, all this lower category, animalistic category, which are not following the mind control. Then they fall into lower than Varnashrama. But spiritual life starts, or it's a beginning, it starts from Varnashrama system. So now Varnashrama has 2 purposes. One is a secondary purpose and one is a primary purpose. Now what is the primary purpose? Primary purpose is said to be satisfy the Lord. but that comes later. First comes mind control, right? This is Varnashrama system is set to do the mind control. Now we must be thinking like many times, we think like we come into devotional life, we take, we follow four regulative principles, we take initiation, but it is not. It does not mean that you have become a Vaishnava. It is you have just become a human being. If you just follow four regulative principles, and if you just start chanting, that means you have just started, to understand. It is an initiation. That's why it is name given as initiation. We are trying to become human beings. We are not yet human beings. We are trying to become Vaishnavas. From human beings, we have to reach to Vaishnava stage. And this is the initiation. So it's a must. Those who doesn't have mind control, they are, as we said, it's lower category. They don't even fall into that category of Varnashrama. That's why Kapil Muni says the starting level for us is Varnashrama, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now, we have this, but here it says, Tato varnascha chatvaras tesham brahmana uttamaha. Now among the varnashrama system, they are saying brahmana uttamaha. Why? Why brahmanas are uttamaha? What is the reason? Why they are saying the brahmanas are the best in the varnashrama system? They also fall into the varnashrama system, but they are saying that brahmanas are the best. So what can be the reason why brahmanas can be the best? Do you think that the Kshatriyas or the Vaishyas which are in the Varnashrama system, they do not have control on their mind? But why the shloka says that brahmanas are the best? Right? There should be some reason for that. All those who are into the Varnashrama system has control on their mind. But why brahmanas are the best? Why they are called as the head of the Lord? They are termed as the head. Why? Yeah, you can answer too. Yes. Brahmanas are meant to know Brahman, right? They have the highest knowledge. But that is also not enough. Just having the knowledge is not enough. Brahmanas, by nature, they are supposed to do welfare activities. Other Kshatriyas, Vaishya, Shudra, they also have the good heart for helping nature or kindness or maybe welfare activities, but not to the level of Brahmanas. Because Brahmanas can give you the highest knowledge of Brahman or the Lord. But that cannot be done by other categories. That's why Brahmanas are termed as the highest among others. And they also have the highest control. They have the highest control on their senses, on their mind, right? So Varnashrama system says that Brahmanas are uttamaha, they are the highest. Now, as we have seen in the shloka, later again, Brahmaneshva api vedognya. So now there are categories among the Brahmanas. Like if you, in the previous shloka, if you go back to the previous shloka, it tells us about the different kinds of non-living entity and then goes to a living entity which have like teeth, which have like many legs, from that many legs to 4 legs, from that 4 legs to 2 legs. Why that gradation is given? Why this is like that? Because, as the consciousness progresses, the knowledge also increases, and then it comes to human forms. Human beings are, as we can say, animals and human beings has 4 common things in them, right? What are the 4 common things? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right? These are the 4 common things between animals and human beings. But, how we do our things like eating. We eat palatable dishes, we eat different varieties. What the animals eat? They eat just something which they find on the roads or they just find in the nature. They just fill their tummy. eating, sleeping, what we do for the sleeping. We have nice beds, cozy beds, water beds, what not. Animals sleep on the streets or sleep on the animal house, right? But the pleasure we derive is the same, isn't it? The pleasure we derive is the same. Now, mating, they also have offspring, human being also have offspring, but it's the same. The pleasure what we derive is the same. And defending, they defend with their teeth and jaws and paws and all that. We have nuclear weapons, we have so many weapons to protect ourselves. But at the end it is the same. So if human beings and animals, the four things are common, then how can we say that human beings are better than animals? Does it make human beings better than animals? They are doing the four things, we are also doing the four things, but again we can say that human beings are doing it in a better way, so we can say that we are sophisticated animals, isn't it? We are just sophisticated animals. So what is the quality which makes us different from animals? Jigyasa or inquiry, like why I have taken this birth. Tomorrow all the cats and dogs from Kalvar city cannot decide, let's have a Bhagavatam class, or let's go for a Bhagavatam class, or let's have a Bhagavad Gita class. They cannot do that. Only human being has the capacity to decide, okay, let's have a Bhagavatam class, let's go for a satsang, or listen to Krishna Katha. Only they have that ability. They can ask, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? They can ask this question because they have developed consciousness and developed intelligence. So here in the previous shloka it says that human beings are better than all the rest of the animals, isn't it? Then comes to, okay, now we are not stopping over there because Kapil Muni wants us to take us to higher level. Like, like Krishna gave so much higher knowledge, so he also want to give us the highest knowledge. Now he is telling us, among the human beings, those who are following Varnashrama system, Brahmanas are the best. Why? Because they know Brahman, right? They have the knowledge of Brahman, Paramatma, all this, they have the knowledge. But why they are highest? Even to some extent Kshatriya says, as we see that everybody has knowledge. Kshatriyas also have knowledge, Vaishyas also have knowledge, Shudra also has some kind of knowledge. But Brahmana has Paravidya. Paravidya is something spiritual knowledge. They have, if the Brahmanas have only Aparavidya, then they are like, it is called as material knowledge. Like, they have the knowledge of Yajurveda, then Ayurveda. All this knowledge is there to Brahmana. And what they do with that knowledge? They help the human society. They impart their knowledge and help the human society to do their things better. But if you are limited to that knowledge, to only Aparavidya, then that Brahmana cannot be termed as higher level. Who can be termed as higher level? Those who go beyond that. Paravidya. Right? Spiritual knowledge. And Brahmana has higher capacity to acquire knowledge. They also, that is inbuilt in them. They have a higher capability to acquire knowledge and do the highest welfare activity. Like, we may think, like, if we are not a Brahmana, if I am a Shudra, or if I am a Vaishya, or I am a Kshatriya, I can think of doing the good thing. But it is always not possible. But Brahmanas, it is very natural for them to do good welfare activities. That's why we always need Brahmanas for doing the yagyas, for doing any good activities. We always bring Brahmanas into picture. We always bring them together, right? Now, we may say that, knowledge is like discriminate among them. The highest knowledge is the best. But there can be also a situation where knowledge can be not used in a proper way, right? Like, there can be some dirty people. Now, what do you mean by dirty people here? It's not like dirty clothes, but in Bhagavad Gita it says, Namo dushkritana mudha, naradhama, maya prarita jnana, asuram. All these people are dirty people, right? They also have knowledge. So how Krishna has given this order, mudha, naradhama, maya prahrita jnana, asuram. Why this level is given? Why from lowest to highest? Why this, they have given in a number, gradation. Why? Because they also have knowledge in a different way, but their knowledge is for destruction or doing something bad. So the Mudas, they practically have no knowledge. Naradhamas, they have little knowledge, but they use it in a wrong way for destruction. Mayaya Prahrita Jnanas are basically the scientists who use the knowledge to destroy. And Asuras are like Ravanas, who has the highest knowledge, but they are universal destruction, not little destruction. They are on the universal destruction side. So, like I said, Brahmanas have knowledge and Kshatriyas also have knowledge. So Brahmanas knowledge is called as Ojas and Kshatriya's knowledge is called as Tejas. Tejas is used to, it is powerful, and Ojas is fine intelligence. Brahmanas has fine intelligence and they can do good to others. Now, as I said earlier, that the superior Brahmana is not one who knows Aparavidya, but one who knows Paravidya. Now, what is Aparavidya? Knowledge of Yajurveda, then Ayurveda, all this is Aparavidya, knowledge related to this material world. But Paravidya is spiritual knowledge. Now, again in the shloka, it is said that Brahmana api vedognya hi arthognya vyadikas tataha. So now again among Brahmanas who are into Paravidya, again they are categorized. Now Brahmanas with Vedagnya, Vedagnya meaning spiritual knowledge, right? Paravidya. But it is said that is not even enough. Just to have Vedas knowledge, that is also not enough. Many times people have Vedas knowledge, but they don't have bhakti. Like for example, many people we can read, recite many shlokas, right? They can recite many shlokas. Some people can recite the whole shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Does that mean that they have devotional service? Does that mean that they are devotees? Not necessarily. So we can discriminate that. So we have to become Arthagya, right? The higher level than that is Arthagya. So Vedagya is just the theoretical knowledge of spiritual life or spirituality, but Arthagya is beyond Vedagya. That is purpose of Vedas. The people who are Arthagyas, they are, they know the purpose of Vedas. And what is the purpose of Vedas? Bhakti. That is the highest. So, those who don't know Vedas and they just know the shlokas, and they don't know the purpose of the Vedas. They are also three examples are given for them. It's like they know the Vedas, but they don't know the purpose of Vedas. They are it is like something like smearing the sandalwood on back of donkey, like that they say. Otherwise, the beggar bears the crown. Put the crown on beggar's head, or put sunglasses on a blind person. Is it useful? No, it is a waste. So same thing. You know the Vedas, but you don't know the purpose. So it's like a waste, right? This logic can also be applied to our devotional life. Same thing. We read Bhagavad Gita, we read Bhagavatam, but if we don't know why we are reading it, what is the purpose? The purpose is to understand Krishna and, get involved, engage ourselves in devotional service. If we don't know that purpose, then it is just like bharavahi, meaning we are just taking the burden of devotional service. We are not actually executing the devotional service. This is bharavahi. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we should become Saragrahi. What is the meaning of Saragrahi? Extract the purpose, extract the essence of the Vedas. That is Saragrahi. That's why we say, we give the example for Hamsa. Hamsa is this swans, yeah. What they do, they can separate milk and water, right? They can separate milk and water. They take the pure form. So we have to become Paramahamsas. That's why those people who are highly elevated, we call them Paramahamsas, because they go for the purity, they go for the sar, they go for the purpose. Veda, now, there are some people who are inclined to Vedagya, and there are some people who are above Vedagya, they are Arthagya. So Vedagya also have Paroksha. Paroksha meaning they only follow theory, and Arthagya is Aparoksha, meaning they have knowledge, realization and love. Paroksha only have knowledge, but Aparoksha has knowledge, realization and love of God. It is like we understand, but we cannot understand, something like that. So we have to go beyond. So now there is knowledge can be acquired in a different way. Like one of the way is Pratyaksha. What is Pratyaksha? You see it with your own eyes and you get knowledge with your own eyes. But that knowledge can be deceiving. So Paroksha, above that is Paroksha. Para means from others. Para meaning Paroksha. Like we take the knowledge from others. Now, how do we take the knowledge? From Shastra, from other devotees. And Aparoksha meaning you take the knowledge from your own self, from your Atma. That is Aparoksha. And that is called as realization. Without realization, the knowledge is not stable. That is what they say. So, Vedagya, they are also called as Vipra Brahmana, and Arthagya are also called as Rishis. Rishis have higher vision. They can see your future. They can see what difficulties might come in your life. So that they are called as Rishis. So all the demigods, we have seen that they were always contacting the Rishis for their problems. Why? Because Rishis had higher vision. So the gradation, as I said, it goes from Brahmana, then Brahmanas are into Vipra and then Rishis. So it goes higher and higher. As the knowledge builds up in them, it goes higher and higher. So if we want to progress in spiritual knowledge, what should we do? We know that now, we have Vipra or Vedagya, which only have theoretical knowledge, and we also know that there is Arthagya, which has realized knowledge, or who knows the purpose of the Vedas. Now if we want, since we know this, and if we want to achieve little bit of that, we want to go higher in that ladder, how can we start? How can we, scale higher ourselves? What is the starting point? Yes. So, according to the shloka, it says first is mind control, like the lowest form, people like me, I am just, first I have to start with mind control. If I don't do that, I will fall into the category of animals, sophisticated animal, just a sophisticated animal, right? So, mind control is the first level, and then for practical ways, if you want to progress more, then they say next level is preaching. They say that if you want to, go higher in the ladder, scale ourselves higher, then do preaching. Because Srila Prabhupada says that if you are not preaching, then you are lower level of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada says that we have to start with preaching, because we have to, scale ourselves higher and higher. So, preaching is the starting. And many times when I was also joined as a student, my teachers in Krishna consciousness told me that if you want to progress in bhakti, you have to do preaching. Because when I preach, I become serious. When I preach, I also know what difficulties they go through and how I should deal with the difficulties. Because knowledge gives you realization. That realization keeps you back into Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, as I said in the beginning, when difficulties come, our determination lowers. We fall down, right? So when we preach, we become strong. Because we understand the problems and we think that after understanding that problem, applying that knowledge and realization, we think that that problem is not very big problem. We can still go ahead, we can still go on, right? So that realization comes to us. Next, after preaching, what is the next? We have to, again if you want to uplift ourselves, then we have to have qualities. And what are those qualities? The quality of sense control, the quality of shama, forgiveness, the quality of giving, the quality of niswartha, no greediness. Niswartha will take us more higher. And then we can, even further we can go by being vipra or being jigyasa or inquisitiveness, more. I want to know more. And above that is sattva samshuddhir. What is sattva samshuddhir? Aiming for purity. Now many times it is said in ISKCON, people after certain age, they are not aiming for purity. Srila Prabhupada says that, we should come out of our birth, old age, disease, that cycle we have to break. But nobody is thinking about that anymore. They are only thinking about what? We should spread love, we should do this welfare activities, but nobody is thinking about the real problem. They don't want to think about the real problem. So we have to approach purity, right? So if we stop thinking about being pure, then our spiritual life comes to an halt. We become, we go lower in that ladder. We don't go higher and higher. And among all that, now that comes into the next shloka, that it says that, there's a very beautiful word, adogda. Adogda meaning milk, a cow which gives milk. Adogda meaning a cow which doesn't give milk. So who will like a cow which doesn't give milk? A person who really loves cows will like cows, who doesn't give milk. Who will accept it? A person who really loves cows, want to protect the cows, only will accept the cow which doesn't give milk, right? Similarly, our situation, we should be in such a position, we should come to the level wherein, if we does not want any reward from the Lord, we just want to serve Him, right? And we don't want, if Lord puts us in Swargaloka or in Swargaloka or Narakloka, hell or heaven, we should not be bothered. We just want to execute our devotional service. We just want to serve the Lord. We are not expecting any mercy. It is like we should think, I am for the Lord, I am of the Lord and I belong to Lord. When that stage comes, that is the highest, right? So we should try to approach that level. So I'll stop my Bhagavatam class here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions?
There's people who know the whole Bhagavad Gita, but they're not devotees. But why would somebody go to the trouble of, because it's not easy, to memorize the entire Bhagavad Gita, and they're not a devotee? Why would they do that?
They don't try to understand the meaning of that. They just, they want to be scholarly, learning that. They want to prove that I know, that I is a very big factor in us. So when we take out that I, we will become humble. So because knowledge also comes to the people who are humble. Otherwise, we have that Keshav Kashmiri example. They knew so many things, but they didn't have bhakti. So similar. Very good. Bhagavatam ki jai.